I am very, very excited. We are live, and I know some of you are joining us live. Some of you will be watching on Facebook. Some of you will be watching on LinkedIn. Some will be on my YouTube channel. And if I know some of you will probably be watching later because I will put this link in my Facebook group. But I am so excited today. It's Monday, and I know sometimes we're like, ooh, the Monday blues. Well, I got something to fix those Monday blues because I have an awesome guest here today, and I'm going to let her tell about herself because I'm so excited to have Dr. Portia Jackson. And I have to put this plug in before I let her tell herself because I tell everybody it is because of Dr. Jackson that I got my certifications. And she may talk about that, but she has a lot of great hats. And me being a businesswoman, I guess it was about a year ago, and she was at an event, and I was walking around, and she goes, "Do you have your certification?" I was like, "No, that is too much trouble." Well, because she gave me her information from the city, and because of that, now I have my certifications, my hub, my WBE, SBE, and I'm in a position now to do business, get contracts with the city of Houston and other things. So I'm very excited to have it. And I saw her again the other day and I realized, oh, you wrote a book. And so that's what we want to talk about today. Her book is me, it's me, not you. How I survived toxic work environments. So I'm going to let Dr. Jackson introduce herself, tell us a little about herself, tell us about her journey, and what led to this book. So, Dr. Jackson, thank you for joining us today. You have the stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much for even having me and inviting me on here to share my story and just really to connect with everybody. So, good morning, everybody. And if you see this later on, good afternoon and good evening, whatever part of the day it is for you. I know it's going to be good. So, a little bit about myself. So, I've been really, for the most of my career, been in nonprofits and working in nonprofit agencies or government agencies. And really, my personal mission is to help people become better versions of themselves. So anything that falls in the line with that, that's typically where you'll find me. Right now, I'm in the space of government and in business advocacy where I love it. I've had some dealings with businesses before I got actually in this role, and this is pretty much out of all the different roles that I've had, whether it was with volunteer development, preparing volunteers for leadership jobs and leadership positions locally and nationally, whether it was being a professor, whether it was being over public relations and communications. I've had a lot of different hats, and I've always been in areas where I've had to do grassroots programming and I've dabbled in a lot of different industries. And so this book really kind of chronicles my career dealings. I call it my career autobiography. It doesn't have all the careers in there, but it has some of the ones that have, I would say, were the most interesting. And so what led me to write this book is I realized in my journey is that we connect with each other by stories. And sometimes we hold those stories to ourselves, and sometimes when we hold those stories to ourselves, they don't really do anything for anybody else. And sometimes holding on to those stories harm us. And so I was realizing that at that point in my life when I decided to write the book, I was just like, I have a story to tell. And I know that so many people can relate to it, whether they are in a work environment or in a social environment, that there are toxic behaviors and there are toxic environments. And that's something we don't need to hold on to. We don't need to hold on to that because it creates like a bitterness within ourselves. We have to get that out. We have to learn how to detox. And so that was one of the main reasons that I said, you know what, I need to get this book out because I know some people are experiencing this. But what I wanted to do, my main thing, and how I came up with the title of It's Me, Not You, that was a saying I would use for myself in toxic work environments to help me cope with what was going on. And so basically, when I'm saying it's me, not you, I was taking accountability for what I was doing in that environment to either contribute to that toxicity and not just walking away from it. So sometimes we're in environments we can't help it. That environment is toxic, we can't change it, But what I had to learn is, one, we got to separate the person from the behavior. And then we also have to take accountability. How did we contribute to it? Could we have just walked away? Could we have done something proactively to stop that interaction? And so that's where It's Me, Not You, How I Survived Toxic Work Environments came about, because that was my way of surviving and not succumbing to being toxic.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I have so many things to ask about that. When we talk about, and when I saw your and I ordered it, and we're gonna talk about how you guys can order it because it's coming out soon. It's pre-order. How I survive toxic work environments. And when I think about that, I think about how I meet so many awesome women, and of course men too, but I mainly work with women, and they are in toxic work environments. And I like what you said. Sometimes it's not just professional, it could be personal too. And sometimes you can't walk away. I guess, like if you're married, you're trying to work on it, it could be toxic. But when it comes to, I'm not saying, okay, leave your husband. I didn't say that. But when it comes to a job or a work environment, when you say toxic, let's say somebody's in a work environment, or they've been in a work environment, because I know that that can carry on. When you say toxic, what would be an example of being in a work environment and it's toxic? Let's say today is Monday, right? Sometimes people dread going to work on Monday. What would be an example of toxic?
There's plenty of examples of toxicity, and I go through a lot of different examples in the book. So, of course, we know the obvious: bullying, also ostracism, right? Not being included. Also, for folks, we even talk about different types of discrimination, whether it's age discrimination, reverse age discrimination. There's a topic I talk about called pretty discrimination that are in the book, and then also micromanagement. That is
Uh,
toxic.
oh
That
God,
is
that is
toxic.
really toxic.
Yes. And then really there are some people who are just some behaviors that just use people and they try to suppress people. And so a lot of it's all those different behaviors, all those different characters that disrupt the environment of being productive, that what I label as being toxic.
I really like that, because I just, in my all of my years of living, and of course I've been in the workplace a long time, and I'm not there anymore. I work for myself, but I worked like 30 years, and I was an educator at the college and all of that, and I loved it. But I would teach adult students, and I taught at University of Phoenix for a few years at night, and my adult students took classes with me, and we did projects, and they would tell me how the workplace was just making them even sick, how being
Mhm.
at work and all of the things that you talk about in your book, how these things would actually making them sick, how it was so bad. And I hadn't experienced that because I've been in the college classroom. I loved it. I hadn't really, but I didn't realize it until I had these adult students telling me the things that you're saying, the bullying, leaving people out, even the smoke breaks, like people who smoke, they could take 5 breaks, and if you didn't smoke you couldn't take breaks, so it's like it was bad not to smoke. But and then the micromanagement, being like you're a kid and you don't know your stuff. And they told me about all of these awful workplace environments. So, and I asked you, and I just have never had to be in it, but I know people who have. You say you survive. What do people do if they're in these type of environments? I mean, sometimes I guess we can walk away and look for something else. Sometimes we can't. How do we survive? You say I survive. You survive. You look good. You write your book. You suck your book. You survive. But what about the people who are not survivors of this? What do
Yeah.
they do every day?
What you got to do is, one thing is, you got to learn to, one, separate the person from the behavior, right? And so when you begin to separate the person from the behavior, it kind of relieves you from blaming the person, but looking at the behavior of that person and saying, I'm not going to tolerate this behavior and how it's being directed towards me. Two, you got to know your value. You got to know what you bring to the table and what you're going to stand for and what you're not going to stand for. And a lot of times, and I talk about in the book, there was sometimes that I was just so, I guess we could use the word desperate to have that position, that I would just tolerate disrespect all the time. Or I would tolerate things, or sometimes even be intimidated because of different people in their positions. Because, and that was an internal part, because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't know the value that I brought to the table. And you can't go and telling everybody off, because that's not going to do anything. But you have to really realize that if I'm in this toxic work environment, what's the benefit in being here for me? If it's leading to something else, then you're saying, okay, I'm going to stick it out. But I got to know who I am, and I got to set those boundaries of what I will accept and what I won't accept. And one thing that you cannot do is fall into the same behavior that they are ushering out to you. So you just have to rise above that. It's going to be hard, yes, but you just have to say, you know what? I know who I am. I'm grounded in the value that I bring to this organization, whether it's professional or personal organization or this relationship, and know what you want out of it, and always have that exit strategy in the foresight. Like, once I get what I need to get out of here, I'm gone. And then be able to, when you move on to the next opportunity, make sure you have that instinct of saying this, that you are able to recognize those toxic behaviors so that you don't put yourself in the same type of environment. You'll begin to, once you've been through it, you'll be able to know, like, no, I'm not supposed to be treated like this. No, the tone in your voice, I'm not dealing with this. And one thing to do too is make sure you keep that communication transparent. So if somebody does something that you don't like, don't announce it in front of everybody. Have that conversation and pull that person to the side and say, you know what? When you said this, that, and the other, what did you mean by that? Give them a chance to explain themselves, because maybe it may have taken it the wrong way. They may be having a bad day, and then you come and say, when you talk to me, this is what I expect. When you
Right.
are submitting work to me, this is what I expect. And so that's going to help you through the process, is letting people know how you roll, what your expectations are. So then if they don't follow along with that, then there's the repercussions. I'm not going to work with you, or we're going to keep this conversation short, or we're going to do this. But always grounded in yourself and knowing who you are and what value you bring and what you're going to stand for and what you're not going to stand for.
Wow, that's great. I know sometimes, and I'm thinking, because when I talk about business, whether it's at work, at the workplace, or even as your own business owner, because we could even be in toxic environments as our own business owners. We could have clients, and that could be a toxic environment. And me as a business owner, I decided, I was like, I could say yes to who I want to take, and it's in my contract, and I could say no, because sometimes we just don't work together well. And I know that being in a toxic environment, whether at work or as a entrepreneur, it spills over. Would you say that it spills over into our regular lives with our family or our spouses or whatever? Because I talk about creating a life and a business you love, not just business. 'Cause your business can be going really well and your life suck, right? Or your life could be going really well and your business suck. But would you say that we might think, well, I can handle it? And I've heard people say, I can handle it. I go to work, I hate it, this, how, but I can handle it. But wouldn't you say it that goes over into their personal lives and it affects their personal lives also?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if, because I remember there were times where I would go to work and, oh my gosh, I would wake up, I would wash clothes, whatever I could to prolong me going actually there. And I would go to work and I would come home or I would go out with my friends. And even though I'm having fun with the people that I want to be around, there are times where we have like these trigger points and somebody might say something and we just go off, or we go left. And they didn't really mean it that way, but it's because we've been in this toxicity and we haven't really dealt with it, that we carry that. And so it might not be displayed where it's like wearing on your forehead that that you hate your job or that you're mad, but that is going to affect your personal life. Why? Because it's going to affect your health. It's going to affect your mental wellness. And so you have to be to the point where you understand where you have to take care of you first. And so if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed or they are just come doing the most where it's making you do things you say, I usually don't do that, then you need to take some time off and really get back to who you are. And so learn how to detox, whatever that is for you. People detox in different ways, but you may have to do that. And so some people actually, they're like, I have to go and meditate and then come back, go pray and then come back, whatever it is. But know what that go-to moment is to reset so that you don't cross that line and start exhibiting the same behaviors that they are doing, but also that you don't take that toxicity home where it lives on the inside of you. And then you may seem like you're happy, but inside you're just disappointed. And that's going to affect how you walk, how you, just how you move and how you be and how you even enjoy the things that you like enjoying. So definitely
Right.
it does trickle down.
It to me, I'm just off balance. And I know life is life. We have ups and
Mhm.
we have downs and we have good times and bad times, but I am just off balance when something is too toxic for too long. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not going to say, oh my God, I've been hating this for 10 years. I mean, you have other opportunities and other places you could go. I've been hating this for 10 years and, dreading going to work or coming home drained. I mean, it's just a lot, and that's why so many people want to have
Mhm.
their own business. But we know entrepreneurship is
Ooh.
difficult, and is entrepreneurship is uncertain and it's
Right.
inconsistent. Like, when we work at a workplace, and I ask sometimes people, and he's like, I've been here, and I hate it. I was like, well, why do you stay? And they like,
Mhm.
well, I got what do you call it? Insurance. I got insurance. Well, I got a check coming in that I know is coming every 2 weeks or once a month. At the college, I got paid once a month. And so you look at that stuff, insurance, and you got the check coming in versus being an entrepreneur where you may have a good month and a client in 2 months not, but you got to pay for your own insurance. But to me, um, the 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 benefits of the check coming, you know, and the insurance, they're not benefits if it's weighing on me, it's
Mhm.
draining me, it's making me sick, it's ruining my relationships. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw that topic, when I saw you
Mhm.
the other day, I was like, I got to have her on because so many people are in it.
So many.
So many people are in it. And I think, and Amy Porterfield wrote a book. I have it back here, 2 weeks notice. And
Mhm.
she talks about, I think you said it, a plan. A
Mhm.
plan. If you know that there's a plan, you have a plan, it's like 6 months, I got a plan. And then she talks about giving 2 week notice because enjoying your life. 2 weeks notice is a great book. And it talks about some of those things, why people want to leave a workplace, because these things, they could just wear upon you. So Kim says, Dr. Portia, congratulations. Kim Davis is on here. She
Oh, thank you, Kim.
yeah, see, Kim is on Chalk Talk. She is an awesome sports person. I think she'll be
Yeah.
on tomorrow on her Chalk Talk. But this I want to ask you about. You say I survived, and I love that. Some people don't survive. You survived, and you didn't wait till you got to the end of your life to make a change. So, what are you doing now? That I know you tell us about your other book on legacy. You say I survived. What are you doing now that you feel is different from what you were doing when you felt that way? And where are you going now into 2025 with your life?
Yeah, and I survived because now I'm to the point where I know my purpose. And if it's not for my purpose, then it's not for me. If I'm in environments and I'm like, wow, this may be a goal for me, and that toxicity comes, you know what? It's not for me. Because one thing I do know is that God is too great to put you in situations that tear you down. And if you're in a
Yes.
situation that tears you down, then that's not the situation. So I'm gonna move, because what I do know is that when you leave a job, they'll find a replacement, right? Life is gonna go on.
By lunchtime, they will
Right.
find
I
a
don't care.
replacement an hour later.
Yes. I don't care how great you may be on the job. Sometimes they don't deserve your greatness. So they will move on. So you need to take care of yourself and you need to move on. And I found that place because I was able to survive. One, because at a certain point I was like, I cannot give in to what they're projecting on me. I'm not going to accept it. I found my voice, I found my purpose, and now what I'm looking to do moving forward in the years to come is I love writing. I love sharing other people's stories. And one of the things too why I wrote this book is like, I always tell other people's stories, I got to tell mine too. That's only fair. And then you just realize you have so much connection with people. So with the first book, Pursuing Legacy, it was really based off of my dissertation. And so I'm telling stories about family businesses and families who had intergenerational careers. So some of those family lines reached over 100 years of people doing the same career, doing that same business. And what it really talks about is one, realizing that your life is not your own. So we're
Mhm.
here. Once you find that purpose, you're here to live, to do something that lives and create something that lives beyond you and make it better for the next generation to come. And so with that book, it's talking and examining how those families were able to do that and create wealth and create an environment for it. And so that's why Pursuing Legacy is my first book. And then this one, of course, is talking about my story. And so I look forward to, I have some other books in the works. So I look forward to bringing out more books, doing speaking engagements and doing workshops. Actually, Pursuing Legacy has some accompanying courses. So folks have been taking those courses to share at their family reunions and just really develop their lives, that personal development, and saying, like, let me find my purpose. Because when I'm telling you, once you find your purpose, and I'm sure you know, you just like and enjoy doing it. And I hear people say, if once you find your purpose, you'll do it and you not get paid. But guess what? God is too great. You're gonna get paid for your purpose. That's why you
I
was
know
created. So
that. That's right. So it'll be something you love. You will do it for free. Yeah. Only when I have a whole lot of money where I could do it for free. Yeah, God is too good because you are gonna get paid double. I was telling
yes,
somebody the other day, I say God does stuff not the same. He
right.
does it double. He doesn't do things the same. But I love that. I love and I can't wait. I'm gonna put this link in my Facebook group. I have so many women with books inside of them. And I keep telling them, get these books out. We got
Get
AI
them
now.
out.
It can help you with your ideas. You don't have to take years anymore. But I love how you said you got courses with it. It's amazing. You're right. When you find your purpose, you can write your book. You can have a course to go with your book. You can get speaking engaged. You can get on podcast. I mean, it's
Exactly.
just so much that you can do. And I love that when you find your purpose and you just don't have to live life in a toxic environment. You just
Nope.
you just don't. We weren't created for that. I
Mm-mm.
know sometimes we gotta stay somewhere because we got to get our money together. We got to get our finances together. Well, get a plan. Get your finance. Like I got to stay here 6 months. I got to save some money. I got to get my finance. Get an exit plan. Get your finances together. Do whatever. But there's just so many opportunities where, and sometimes we're afraid. Like I
Yeah.
have been teaching, we're afraid. I have been teaching at the college a long time, and I was like, "Ooh, if I leave, I'm not gonna get my big check anymore. I'm not gonna get all of
Hmm.
that." But I took the leap to become full-time speaker, full-time trainer, and all of that. And it's been good. It's been ups and downs, But I'm so glad I didn't look at, oh my God, I'm not getting a big check anymore, because I'm actually doing something that I love, and God will take care of where you need to go on your path. We don't have to be scared. We don't have to hold on to
Right.
stuff. I do say have a plan. Okay, don't be like, oh, I heard that the portion today. I'm leaving my job tomorrow. We
No,
didn't say do that.
no.
We didn't say that. I did say have a plan. I'm leaving my job. No, get your money saved up, get your money
Yeah.
together. Do what you need to do. But
and
having a
and learn all you can from that, because what we do know is nothing is ever wasted. So if you're in that position and you're looking to get out, yes, have that plan, but learn all you can, because it's a waste if you have the opportunity to learn about behaviors, whatever it is, and you don't use that to your benefit as you move on. So learn all you can at with your plan on exiting, and don't be comfortable in the toxicity. I think sometimes we get so comfortable with things because I hear people say, I'd rather be with the devil I know than the devil I don't know.
I've heard of that.
What?
No, no, you
Yeah.
don't want to
I
be
can
the
tell you
devil
with
at
the
all.
devil. Yeah.
I know you don't.
Right.
And I do know about the fear and the doubt. Those are two
Mhm.
things that keep us not only in workplace environment, in relationships. You may not be in a relationship where you're married, you're just dating. You can leave that,
Mhm.
okay? But fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are huge for us as women when it comes to making a leap. And I
Mhm.
get it. And we have to know how to figure out, what am I going to let fear and doubt eat up my life 10, 15 more years? It goes fast. We
It's
don't have a life
uncertain.
90. It goes
Mhm.
fast. Am I going
Mhm.
to let fear and doubt eat up another 2025? Am I going to let fear and doubt eat it, or am I going to, like you were saying, you found the confidence, you found your voice, and you don't have to go around telling everybody, this toxic environment, I'm leaving here. No, you don't have to do that. You can have a plan for what you want to do for your life. You got a little under 100 days in 2024. You got the whole 2025. And I tell people, and I sent an email this morning, close your eyes and imagine where you would be in 3 months if you made the decision that you need for your life. Not just this. Imagine where you would be in 6 months in 2025 if you made one decision that is best for your life. Just one. Not just this with the work, about one decision that that you need to do. Imagine where you would be in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. And I will tell you this, it's always better. We're afraid,
Mhm.
we're scared, we're doubtful, we're afraid to leave people. And I've been in relationships where I was like, ooh, bad ones, right? With guys.
Mhm.
And I was afraid. I was young. I was afraid to leave. I was like, oh, what if I don't meet anybody else? Or, oh my God, we've been together so long. But when I left, it was always so much better. And so it's the
Mhm.
same. I think it's the same with anything. We're scared, we're doubtful. But what I have seen in my own life, whenever I left something that was bad for me, whether it was a job or relationship or whatever, it was always better. It was
Yeah.
always better. It may not come at the same time, it was always better. But I want you to end and tell us, because this has been wonderful and I cannot wait to share this and talk about this forever. But I want you to share with us, I want you to give us your words of advice, a little piece of your last piece of words of advice for us when we're talking about, I love legacy and living our purpose. And then, yeah, just give our ladies a little motivation, a little courage, because you're doing well now. I'm so glad I met you. And I don't know if I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'm going to Milton's thing tomorrow.
I'll be
But
there.
oh, okay, so I'll see you tomorrow. Because of Portia, I have my certifications, and I put myself in positions where I can get contracts and do business where with certain companies that I couldn't if I hadn't done it. And once again, I went through the, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, but I want her. She's so encouraging and motivating, and I love how she's just living her life and doing what she feels is her purpose, would align with her purpose. So I want you to give us a word of advice for all of our women. We're gonna have some men who are gonna be listening, and then lastly, I'm gonna ask her to tell us where we can find her book. Of course, I'm gonna send all of my email people a link I have purchased it a pre-sale, and it's not even that much. Why is it so affordable? So no, everybody has can get this book. So give us your last words, and then tell us where we can find your book when it's coming out.
Sure. My last words are just know what you value and put that at the forefront. For example, I value peace.
Oh,
So when I'm in situations, peace is my standard. If there is no peace, then that's not where I'm supposed to be. So I have to move around. And so just find whatever you value and hold that as your standard as you just move throughout life. So when I walk into the room, when I pray, I say, you know what, Lord, when I walk into the room, let everybody know that peace has arrived. And when I did that, I just have peace. Just even when there's crazy things going around me, I can just sit there because I know I have peace. It's gonna be okay. So that's my word of wisdom for today is just find out what you value and let that lead you in your decision making and how you live your life. And so I just thank you for the time to share with you all today. Make sure you do pick up a copy of the book. It's on pre-sale through September 30th, and you can find it on Amazon. You can either search it with It's Me, Not You. It'll be like the fourth book that's coming up, or you can search it by my name, Portia Jackson, PhD, and it will bring the book up. Or you can always visit my website, which is drpj.online, and it will have ways for you to connect with both books on that site. And you can connect with me even further on LinkedIn. So it's been great. Thank you so much, Marsha, for the opportunity.
oh my God, this has been wonderful. I hate to go. So Kim said Dr. Portia has been a great advocate for small businesses and entrepreneurs. She sure has for me. So good to see you putting some of what you know in writing. Keep up the good work. Dr. Siobhan,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Leach, that's one of my clients. She said that's good. Dr. Leach has her course out. It's a Christian journaling course. But oh, and don't forget, maybe I overlooked it, but on her LinkedIn page, you could just go to Dr. Portia Jackson and put it into LinkedIn. She'll pop up. I didn't see where it's a featured for the book. Maybe it's there, but I just didn't see it. But so put that feature there on the feature, that book up there. It may be there. I may have missed it. But I also put in her online drpj dot online. So you definitely want to look for that book. It's me, not let me see. It's me, not you. I love that line, by the way. How I survive toxic workplace environment, and then also her book on Lexi. So we look forward to seeing some more books from her in 2025. Who
Yeah.
knows? Diversity. I see Miss Trina Edwards from Diversity Recruitment Partners was on here. She's also an awesome person to follow. Diversity Recruitment Partners on LinkedIn. Follow all of these people on LinkedIn or on their website because
Yes.
these are awesome women joining us. So I want to thank you again. I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow
Yes.
at HCC, I think, right?
Yes.
I'll
Uh-huh.
see you tomorrow. Oh, and I'm going to steal this, by the way. Hello, peace has arrived. Okay. I'm coming out like, I love that. I want peace at this stage in my life. I'm having a birthday in like a few days. And so I'm
Oh, happy early birthday.
yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit older. And when I hit 50, I was like, I just want peace. When I hit
Mhm.
55, I just want double peace, okay? And so I'll be like, peace. I love peace. So thank you so much, Dr. Portia. And we look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing some more things for you. Thank you for sharing today and encouraging our women. And as always, I like to say to your abundant success, may God continue to bless you so that you can impact others. And I hope that your message has encouraged people in case they are in work toxic environment, whether it's at work or even as a business owner.
Hmm.
And I hope that they realize their purpose and that, life is not meant for that. That wasn't what we were meant for. And then they could create a life and a business that they love. So thank you all so much for your comments. Thanks for being here. And I know some of you will be watching it later on. And as I always like to say, you are the secret sauce to your success. See you next time.